again, thank you for your time today. I appreciate you joining me.
Mhm.
So LaDeja, is that how you say your
Yeah,
first name?
LaDeja.
Okay, LaDeja. Do people normally get that wrong?
Oh man, all throughout growing up in high school, and I've gotten all sorts of stuff. So that's really good for the first try.
Well, good. I was like, that's got to be what it is, right? Um, so tell me, what initially brought you to San Jacinto College?
So I had a friend of mine from high school. I'm originally from Channelview. So I had a friend of mine who went through the program, the audio program up there. So he kind of introduced me to the program, introduced me to the professors that were there, and it was kind of like love at first sight. I love the program. I love the mission that the college has, and I thought that it would be really beneficial for me, like going forward into my career.
So tell me about, you mentioned marching band. So you
Mhm.
were
Oh,
a
I was a
musician
saxophonist.
first. Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about that, like
So
in the marching band.
we started off, or I started off, excuse me, as a saxophonist, went through all sixth grade, and I participated in marching band all 4 years. It was just, summertime, going out to the marching field, learning different formations and things, and learning the music too. So that's how I kind of got started and introduced into music, and a lot of the discipline and, some of the work that it takes to really build even back then. So it was a great commitment. And I think it really taught me not only the importance of staying diligent with your education, but also, the discipline to continue and keep consistency.
And so what draws you to music and then as a career for audio engineering?
So at first, it was the creative side, falling in love with like different melodies and how music is structured, the theory behind it. That was always something that I've always resonated with. But as I entered into college, getting into audio shows you all of the technical side, all of the computer theory, and the frequencies of music, and some of the processes that it takes to make sure that a song is ready for Spotify or ready for Apple Music or is ready to be heard by a mass amount of people.
Do you think being a musician yourself, does that give you a little bit of a different ears as someone who doesn't come from that world?
I believe so. It's kind of, so the first thing I'd like to describe is that you train your ears a lot. And even back starting from marching band and going through high school and college, they teach you how to train your ears to hear different nuances. Like hear, okay, this vocal sounds great. Oh, this one doesn't. Oh, this guitar sounds great. This one doesn't, you know? And then as you continue forward, you learn the opposite of that. You learn how you listen to music as a kid, or you learn how you listen to music as a person that's not really frequent in music. So I think it's a balance of both, ironically.
That's awesome. So tell me about your time at San Jack. How was that for you?
Oh, it was absolutely phenomenal. If I could recommend the program to anybody, I always do. The professors are so vetted, like they themselves are Grammy award winning, Billboard charting. A lot of them have a lot of accolades that I feel like a lot of, of course, they don't share often. But I think that after doing your research, you see that those are some of the best professionals, not only in Houston, but in Texas. So they're very in tuned with not only what is needed to be learned to be successful, but what immediately is needed to be successful right after you get out of college. And that was part of the reason why I was inspired to come back and do multiple master classes.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the master classes. I saw you did multiple of those and then you spoke on the panel recently. So how does it feel to come back, after you've graduated, come back to your alma mater and kind of give back to those students who are here?
It's a really phenomenal experience. I think that not only to go through the program itself, but be able to give back. One of the greatest things that you can give in life is to give back to those who were in your same position. And I felt honored the fact that they've asked me to come back and to speak with the students and to share some of not only the things I was able to learn from the program too, but some of the things that I see from the other side. Because that was something whenever I was a student, I was always wondering, like, okay, after I get out of college, what will it be like? How's the industry? How am I going to navigate you know, who I am and how I put my thumbprint into the industry. So to be able to give some guidance on that was a phenomenal and just amazing experience that I was able to provide to others. So it was amazing. And then the things that I learned too, I was surprised that I learned some things from others who are students, which oftentimes teachers mention that, you know, you never know who's learning from who some days. So it was phenomenal to learn a lot more about myself and as a person who likes to educate and those who like to mentor.
Yeah, that's great. Can you tell me a little bit about like after Sanjak, some
Mhm.
internships that you did and your career now?
So I've actually done two internships. One of the studios that I work at now is called Lab 45 and it's actually owned by one of the professors there. So that was one of the first internships I did, probably my first to second year into my career or into my college career, excuse me. And then they have an excerpt internship that you do a part of the program. I ended up doing my internship at Wire Road Studios in Houston. And it was a great experience. It was an interview process as well. They take, you know, all the students out of, I think it was 20 to 50 students that interviewed, they take five. And not
Wow.
only was I one of the five, I was the only female that was there.
All right.
So yeah, it was really life changing in the sense of you directly get to work with some of the best in Houston, not only like college wise, Jacinto wise, but a lot of those who won Tony Awards, Grammy Awards, Billboard charting, you name it. I was even lucky enough because the way that they phrase it, the way that they hold it is each intern has a day of the week. Like you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I was lucky enough to get Fridays, which was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I felt like I had more learning and opportunity just from those 3 extra days that, okay, you're here Friday anyway. Can you show up Saturday? Can you show up Sunday? So it tremendously prepared me for my career.
So it sounds like you're someone who says yes to opportunity when it comes.
Oh,
You're not.
absolutely. um, that's a great way to advance too, because a lot of times people don't realize that many opportunities, and it's a mixture of at first when you're first entering your career of like, okay, the not so desired yeses, you know, and being accustomed to choosing when to say yes or no is a really great skill that I feel like that's not taught in college because it offers up opportunities to even go further than if you were to say no. Because a lot of
Mhm.
times, you know, when you're first starting out, it's like, okay, we asked this person, we asked that person, we asked this person. This is like a Hail Mary. Are you able to do it? And that's the key to getting some of the biggest opportunities to soar. So I absolutely am an opportunity person.
So, you mentioned you were the only woman in this intern program, and then one of the panels that you just spoke on was about women in audio, and I saw that there is like 5% of audio engineers are women. So,
Yeah.
why to you is it important to first of all make that known, and then also come and speak to those young women and encourage them to get involved in the industry?
I think it's very important to have advocacy and allow people to know that just because you only see you as a representation doesn't mean that there's not others out there. I wanted more women to know that not only is this a career that's safe, that's actually possible to pursue, but you know, it quite honestly is an option that you can soar at. Being 5% of an industry, it's very discouraging because you know you see a lot of opportunities automatically going to men, regardless to what you bring to the table. So I think pushing past that and showing that not only for the masterclass that I did and for the panel that I did, not only are these women are in the industry, they're soaring, they're absolutely killing it. And you know, you don't have to let this fact about you prevent you from soaring and prevent you from creating a career that you can be proud of.
Yeah, I think that's and for them to see someone in that position doing so well, and and a panel of you, like, we're
Yeah.
out here, we're doing it,
Yeah, like we're
that's
not
inspiring.
just, I mean, we still get I still have nowadays, and some of the women too, they were like, oh, I'm surprised to see a woman engineer. And I'm surprised to see, someone of your caliber continuing to make it and continue to do it. So I think that the way to expand the 5%, which was the name of the masterclass I had, is to have more meetings and more conversations like that. Rally more women. For me, whenever I was in class, I had only 1 to 2 women that were there. And now the fact that they're starting to get percentages of, okay, now we're starting to look at 50-50 for the program. That's astonishing. That's amazing. And I'm glad that I could be a part of maybe someone that was like, oh, I don't know about joining this program. Oh, okay. Now I can see myself here.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I also saw that you recently attended a Grammy celebration party.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me about that. How you got into that, and how was that?
So I have a mentor of mine, Harold LaRue. He's a mastering engineer here in Houston. And he had an invitation, and he invited me to come out and to take me underneath his wing and introduce me to a lot of his different friends and colleagues and people who are in the Recording Academy. It was an amazing experience. I thank him so much for seeing things into me that I hadn't even seen into myself, and allowing me to be amongst those individuals who, have achieved those things, who are in the Recording Academy, who are voting for Grammys, who are, excelling at their careers in music.
It looked like a really awesome event. So I'm glad that you got to go. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So a little bit more on the engineering side, how do you balance, you talked a little bit about this earlier, the technical side with the creative side?
I think that at the end of the day, knowing and realizing that music is a universal language. Anybody can understand when they're listening to a happy song or a sad song or a song that makes you, fired up and angry. So remembering that the creative side first takes precedence, and then the technicalities are on the other side that are also as equally important, but not getting too lost into the technicalities to where you don't get some of the feelings that you invoke when you listen to music. I think that remembering that the creative side takes king, it often drives the decisions that you make technically. Like, okay, is this too loud? Is this too soft? How does this instrument or vocal feel? Okay, now I'm able to make decisions of, okay, let me make sure that it's not sounding as clouded and as, let me make sure that this is clear in this section, or let me intentionally make sure that it's clouded because this sort of vocal is not the focal point right now. Just making different creative decisions like that often helps separate the two worlds and really create something that's truly special.
And how important is your relationship with the artists themselves and that connection that you have?
Absolutely important. I think that learning the artist that you're with, doing your homework, if they have already music that's out, listening to that music, how they like to represent themselves, not only as an artist, but as an individual, is extremely important. I often like to start my sessions with sitting down and asking the artist, if it's the first time that I'm with them, hey, how are you? I looked into some of your songs. I want to ask you, like, what type of artist do you see yourself as and how you like to be represented? What's type of music that you listened to growing up that has inspired you to become the artist that you are today? What direction do you see yourself going, and how do you want to connect with your listeners? Me understanding how they want to accomplish some of those goals allows me to also help them within the audio engineering side, and allowing them to shine through even through that, so that each step of the process is very intentional. I think that one of the things that I touched on during the masterclass was different programs that are out there for women in music. There is a program called Sound Girls that's really good for showing different women and non-binary individuals different opportunities to be both in music, in studio, and in live sound. There's a program called She Is the Music that does similar things, but I think is more studio driven. There's Women Audio Mission. That's also a great organization that is really providing opportunities, different events, different things for women to attend and to do internships and to really gain a lot of opportunities for. I wanted to highlight a lot of those organizations because a lot of those organizations helped me whenever I first started out. And it was allowing me to connect with more women and connect with more of the community that we have out here within that 5% that's truly expanding each and every day.
Yeah, and it seems like you're a really big advocate for that. So, mentioning those that helped you and for the future generations, I mean, that's really exciting also.
Absolutely.
So do you ever see yourself coming back to teach audio engineering?
Oh, given the opportunity, I would absolutely love it. That would be one of the best things I think that I would be able to provide to others. I love teaching. I had a teacher of mine. I do have to mention Professor Angela Beyer. She's the reason why I was able to do any and all of my master classes and have the opportunity to speak with the students. So I want to say a special thank you to her. She was one of the first female engineers that I've ever saw that were like, wow, you're a teacher, you're a professor. And it was one of the first things that clicked in my mind that, oh, not only could you teach or could you advocate or you could do this, but here's someone right here in front of you that you can directly ask. So she's one of the inspirations for sure that showed me that, this is what you should do. This is how you should help others.
So what are your kind of big picture, dream big kind of goals for the future?
I think that connecting with more artists and really, I've seen what's happened when music that they want to share has changed lives. Meeting Javante, my client who I've charted with, I've seen his life change and him have opportunities to do sold out shows and tour around America and really build up his career. He's an Eddie Award winning artist and or nominated, excuse me. He's nominated for an Eddie Award. But for him to be garnering those sort of opportunities too, he's often told me that if it wasn't for us working together, these things wouldn't have been able to happen. So I think that that's a lot of my different goals. A lot of different people say, oh, I want to win a Grammy. Oh, I want to do Billboard. Oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. I think it's more important, and what resonates with me is changing lives through education, changing lives through doing more audio engineering, working with more artists, especially independent artists, and garnering opportunities for them to help provide to others that haven't been able to be put into that sort of position. I hope that makes a lot of sense.
No, it does. It does. It's more about, it sounds like the connection and the fostering those artists and bringing that out. It sounds like you're someone who likes to see the potential in someone and draw that out and
exactly.
Put it at the forefront. Yeah. I get it.